So we're back today in Silent Hill 2. It's a little different than what I remembered.
I don't remember Papyrus Spot being in the background. Maria, can you really be alive for you somehow, some way?
I guess you won't figure out how to play.
Well, no. It's, this is the Silent Hill beat-em-up. You can't really read the, special move listings because it only flashes for about a half second on screen. And here we have our first protagonist that we can show off with, James Stone, or Axel Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, my favorite character in the Silent Hill beat-em-up franchise.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Now, a big note about how this game is designed is that you can't see the health of anything, so you can't do any kind of, threat assessment. So you can't go after anything that has little health to get it out of the way, so you just sort of have to guess.
Yeah. I've played beat-em-ups like that before. It's not particularly fun.
And as a note, all those specials that you sort of saw for half a second on the, how to play screen don't actually correspond to every single character. So you'll have to guess which of one of those 14 inputs will do something.
So the monsters we've seen so far have been from Silent Hill 2, 3, and 4.
Hey, this game has it all.
We got closers from Silent Hill 3, mannequins from Silent Hill 2, nurses from everything, patient demons from Silent Hill 2, well, lying figures is what they're called, and also Cynthia, who is a ghost from Silent Hill 4. I don't know what she's doing here.
Why did they feel the need to put the nurses in every Silent Hill game since 2?
Well, fear of the medical establishment is kind of universal.
I think it's a Japanese thing, too. I think they like the hospital settings. Just survival horror in general is like way into like hospital settings, too.
Well, it's a good juxtaposition of death being in a place that's supposed to prevent death.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Who the hell's that?
That's like some kind of fire demon.
Oh, it's a smog. It's a smog from Silent Hill Homecoming, except it's like 3 times bigger than it should be.
Oh, we're bringing that game into this, huh?
Yeah, Homecoming. Oh, that's a pendulum from Silent Hill 3.
These things are awful because they have a ranged attack. You have no way past the ranged attack because it's actually pretty wide.
I'm guessing you don't have a ranged attack. At least James doesn't.
Some of us do.
Well, okay,
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
We're in Homecoming land. That is a needler.
First off, why are there toilets in the hall? And second off, why did that one have gold in it?
Well, one, this game has Eddie in it. Why wouldn't it have toilets?
That's a lot of leaping.
And these leapers are weird because sometimes their AI will screw up and they will just jump at you, and if you don't move, they can't hit you.
Yeah, they just want to practice their dance routine.
Those leaping things are the needlers, and the other things we saw that were crawling on the ground, those are called lurkers. Those are also from Silent Hill Homecoming. Also, like, all these monsters got recycled and put into Silent Hill Book of Memories, the Vita game.
I think I recognize this background, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is actually a legit Streets of Rage background. But hey, let's play as Maria. She's a very flippy character, in case you can't notice. And she actually has, like, the most special moves. She has, like, 3.
That was an interesting blood effect.
The patient demon things. Those have a acid attack.
So Maria has the Hurricane Kick as her get-out-of-jail card. It's actually can be great, but if it goes past anybody, it won't hit them at all and do nothing.
No.
So it's kind of useless. She can also just flip if you hold down and just attack everywhere.
Now, do your special attacks drain your health?
No, they don't. Just the, invincibility cost one. She also has a projectile, which makes me think she's some kind... I'm fairly certain that's a copy of one of the Streets of Rage bosses, actually. I think that's... Shit, I don't actually remember. I think that's Electra?
That could be.
Because Blaze is recycled for somebody else.
Yes, whenever I want health, I just knock over a trash can. Oh!
A little less subtle than in the games.
Wasn't it a nurse in the games, actually? And not a double mannequin?
No, it was a mannequin.
Yeah. So, here's the first boss, and as fitting for his first boss, he can block. He can also attack out of the block while you're just doing nothing and kill you.
He also, I can't tell because of the video speed, but he also seems to have very stiff animations.
Oh, he does. The thing is, the video speed, that's pretty much how fast he attacks anyway.
Oh.
And also, I guess Angela, if she dropped the knife, could have made use of her hockey abilities that, Blaze does.
I see.
So this is Angela fielding. She's kind of okay, because, the flame actually has a pretty big, range on it. But her specials aren't really anything to write home about.
How many stages are in this game?
8. Some of them are longer than others.
Oh boy.
This is way nicer than the lake normally looks.
But don't worry, this game's actually very quick if you know the trick.
There's a trick to this game.
Yes, actually, it'll come up later. But as a note, like, they tried to kind of balance it by giving different characters different specials and ways to affect them, but this game is also 2-player. The difficulty of this game, and pretty much every single game made in open bore that has 2-player support, is based around the fact that you're playing 2 people at once so you can infinitely juggle people. That's like a stated feature in most open bore games. Is that if you have 2 players, you can literally take a boss to pieces just by standing between them.
Well, that was obviously the intended way to play this game. Drag someone else into this and lose your friend.
Well, to be fair, that's how the enemies fight.
They're AI, they don't have to worry about...
But hey, let's meet Eddie. His special move is barfing on everything and doing a belly flop.
Can I suggest that we not be Eddie?
It would be worthwhile, I suppose.
His sprites are...
His sprites are just an edit of Big Ben, but...
I can see that, but even at this high speed, I can tell they're really stiff in the animation department.
Well, Big Ben only had, like, 5 frames of animation.
I mean, then why would you want to sprite edit that if you're not gonna bother putting in any effort?
Okay, I don't recognize these.
Those are numb bodies from Silent Hill 3. They're the first enemies you encounter in the mall.
What were they meant to represent?
I don't know what they're supposed to represent. Silent Hill 3 is kind of weird to me. I think it's just like, I don't know, it's just, it's kind of a mishmash of 3 different people's other worlds, so it's kind of like,
So where's the part in this game where you have to solve oh!
Yeah, we can play as Pyramid Head. One of his powers is pelvic thrusting.
He's so little.
Yeah, he's short. He doesn't come with the block that his predecessor did. He also has a familiar that he can pop out to end his combos.
I like how they use 2 different mannequins, because that one that's like kind of dainty looking, that's ballet-esque, that's actually not a separate enemy. That is the concept art for the regular mannequins from Silent Hill 2. They
Really?
just took the concept art and made it a totally separate enemy from the mannequins.
A for effort? What is... Okay, I just noticed the sprite lingering above that. I guess that's supposed to be smoke, but it just looks really bad.
Yeah. Another thing to note about some of these enemies is that their AI routines don't exactly match up with the hitboxes on their attacks. Oh, and Insane Cancer. Now, the Insane Cancer is one of the big ways in which this game has terrible balance, because it has better attack range than you, and it will never engage you inside that attack range. So it will always be content to simply hit you from where you cannot possibly get out of its attack.
But thankfully, you were able to beat it with Heather from Silent Hill 3.
Yeah, Heather is also really awful because all of her attacks have incredibly short range and can't hit anything.
So never use her.
Yeah. She also does not appear to actually have a special move. Or at least I can't do the motion required to pull it off.
Fun fact, there are only 2 protagonists in the series that can actually fight enemies with bare hands, just punching them. Everyone else, you cannot attack things with your bare hands.
I'm guessing one of them was from Silent Homecoming.
No.
So, no, really?
No, believe it or not, it's not Homecoming. It's Downpour and Origins.
Downpour was the one with the prison convict, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never managed to play that one, so I could never tell if it was any good.
Wasn't his name, what was it, Murphy Pendleton?
Yeah. Oh, that's a split worm. That's a weird decision. That's a boss.
He's actually kind of awful because a lot of attacks will not hit him because he's so short.
That's a boss from the first boss in Silent Hill 3, and it's significantly larger in the game. I don't know why they made him tiny. And they made other people so big.
Well, he had to lose some weight to get on this bridge.
The sprite used for it looks very familiar. I think it might have been taken from Splatterhouse and edited a bunch. At least the head on it reminds me of a Splatterhouse enemy.
By the way, that's Travis, by the way.
Travis is black in this game, so because again he's just another sprite edit of Adam actually. Notably, he starts with more health than everybody else. I don't know if that's true to his game, but now it's time to play as the developer option. This thing.
Oh.
Its power is vomiting blood at problems.
Okay.
That's Scarlet. She's a boss from Silent Hill Homecoming.
Well, he's incredibly powerful because he can hit from across the screen.
So this is the only true way to play this game.
Yeah, he also does an exceedingly high amount of damage. This is basically how you succeed at the game.
The sound effect he's making, almost reminds me of a sound effect from Symphony of the Night.
I think it actually is a sound effect from the Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, when some of the zombies scream when you hit them.
Yeah.
Or some other enemy.
Oh no, another mannequin.
There's Corpse Buddy in the background, holla.
Wasn't that an angel or something? I forget if it...
It's just a corpse. Shows up a bunch. Oh, this is a scene from the movie, Silent Hill Revelations 3D. It was terrible.
Oh, he's hitting on all the notes.
Every single one of them.
And it's dead.
Good.
Note, all the bosses in this are horrible because they have better range than you, unless you're playing a Scar, in which case you just eat everything.
I see you pick... Oh, no, wait, you didn't pick up the rabbit.
Is this supposed to be downpour because it's raining? This doesn't look anything like anything.
Again, I'm pretty sure this is also an edit. Actually, wait, no, this is just the park stage from Streets of Rage, but with rain and a blue ground because it's raining.
Oh, it's the schisms from... Oh, they die really weird. Those are schisms from Silent Hill Homecoming. The weird flappy head, hammerhead shark things.
They are fear of, I guess, hammerhead sharks.
Who isn't afraid of hammerhead sharks?
Me? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we got a tough guy here.
I don't know. I don't like sharks, I guess. It's always more of a... I don't know, leeches kind of guy.
You know, thinking about it, weren't some like the nurses between games like they only got like one weapon between them? I think because it was like the one. I think at least in one of them they only had physical weapons. I'm not sure who this is.
That's a missionary from Silent Hill 3.
Wasn't he the guy that killed
Spoilers, yeah.
Oh no.
A monster at Silent Hill kills someone. Spoilers.
But yeah, it is the monster that kills Harry in Silent Hill 3. And then it becomes a regular monster after you boss fight it.
What a sad fate. Oh, by the way, as a note, those wolf things that are flying around, if you can actually kill them incorrectly and they will become a million times worse.
Okay.
Because you can break off their jaw, but their jaw will continue flying around like the regular wolf. And now it will have an even tinier hitbox and will actually move slightly faster.
This area looks fun.
It's not. The wolves are a terrible idea.
As demonstrated here.
Yes, and that jaw part was the thing that noted, because it's literally just a last gasp projectile attack. It's really annoying.
Is that another... Yeah, I think that was another version of of Smog, but he was tiny again.
I also don't know what these things are.
Do they even attack you?
I think they do, but they never get in the right...
That's another version of the lying figures. Oh, these are the dolls from Downpour. They're just the sexy ones. The developers went, wait, we need a sexy monster, so they made this.
This touching upon pretty much everything ever in Silent Hill. Are we gonna have a boss fight with the... What's his name from the movie? That one... No, the one guy who was just, like... They kept cutting to scenes of him doing just absolutely nothing.
Sean Bean?
Yeah. Oh, now we just... Wait a minute.
No, you can fight Evil Eddie with Eddie. There's no difference. And he's actually the easiest boss because he doesn't have incredible range except for the gun.
Now, do you get to use the gun when you're playing as Eddie?
I think it's a special move, but I was never able to get it to trigger.
Ah, yes, the obligatory elevator stage that's in every beat-em-up.
Was Robbie the Rabbit ever an enemy? I remember him just being a thing you found to be creeped out by.
He was an enemy in the Silent Hill arcade.
Yeah. I remember that much. I don't think he was ever an enemy, and what the hell is that?
That's Valtiel. I don't know why they're doing that to him. He's not an enemy.
Did he always cart around a frame of dead people?
No, it was like... So there's a famous scene with Valtiel where he's turning the valves of reality and there's these legs hanging on the walls representing Alessa and Heather. And he's not an enemy, he's like your guardian angel. Oh, also that was Flesh Lips in that box that you hit. Oh no, that's not Flesh Lips, that's Maria or Mary, whoever. Final boss situation. Oh, it's Asphyxia, but very tiny.
And this is a... Alien Queen?
Asphyxia, but larger. Almost the size she's supposed to be.
Also, as a note, there was a strange little, bent wire that was attacking us. That thing has its own health bar and is actually pretty dangerous. Oh, and it's this part.
Oh, it's Abstract Daddy.
No, you can also fight that thing with Angela. Nothing changes.
Why would it, though? I mean, that's made up. That's not real. That's a made-up thing.
I'm pretty sure that's just a side of beef that wanted to get in on the action.
I remember the part in Silent Hill where you had to fight a giant elephant ear on strings.
And then there was also... something.
Yeah, that's from Silent Hill 3. That's the glutton.
Speaking of which, where is this?
It's not really an enemy, it's something that's in the way. That's Caliban from Silent Hill Origins.
Caliban can also block. It doesn't help him when you're Scar, because Scar is bullshit.
So I'm guessing you obviously have unlimited continues here, right?
No, we actually don't.
Really?
Yeah, that credit thing you can see, that's the amount of continues I have. I spent most of them showing off the characters.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's the Butcher from Origins. Pyramid Head's crappy cousin.
He dies and stabs himself, even if it doesn't seem like that should happen.
Okay, this background isn't from Streets of Rage. This is from Night Slashers. I distinctly remember this because there's a remake of Night Slashers in a similar fighting game engine.
That was Sepulchre from Homecoming.
And then there's Large Nurse. And it's not a boss, it's just Large Nurse. And, oh good, we're fighting cripples now!
That's the Wheelman from Silent Hill Downpour. Which is the worst boss fight, it's just so stupid.
Stupid in concept, or the fact that you're fighting a dude in a wheelchair?
Both. Oh, those things are from, those things that you can barely see on the ground, just like a mess of pixels, those are sniffers from Silent Hill 3.
Is your reflection gonna come to life and try to attack you here, or no?
It's cute, though.
There was that thing. I don't know what it was.
I couldn't tell, it went too fast.
Ah, we're into the second nurses now. They have guns. They're really annoying.
That's Silent Hill 3's nurses. Oh, that's Mama from, Origins. She was one of the bosses.
Okay, all these bosses are being downgraded to normal enemies.
That's because Scar hits really, really hard.
I think that's supposed to be... Oh, I'm not sure, actually. That might be Flesh Lips, but I'm not sure. That box thing with limbs.
This is just a Night Slasher's backdrop with a really bad filter over it. This is actually where you fight the Frankenstein boss. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, we just fought Scar and won. We are our own best enemy.
My mistake, the boss wasn't Frankenstein, it was you all along.
So now here comes one of the final stages, and this is the hall from Silent Hill 2. Or the hotel, I should say. That's better. You actually get half the amount of usual space you would get, so everything can gang up on you twice as effectively. And also, you fight pretty much every enemy in the game at this point.
Is there gonna be a boss rush at the end?
Well, this is sort of it, anyway. You just get attacked by literally every enemy in the game.
certainly gives you enough time to... Oh.
That's made up. That's not a real monster. Oh, they got both of them from the movie and from SH2 Homecoming.
Yep, and then they die, so guess what? It's time to fight Mary, and she is the literal worst boss fight in the game because she has mastered the player character jump attack.
She's a lot more active than in the game. More lively.
Her power here is the jump attack, where she will attack you from the sky. There is no way to defend against this because her hitbox is so huge. If you're not Scar, this is where you die even with, like, 9 continues.
Oh. That was an interesting drawing.
That's abrupt. So what did we learn?
Absolutely nothing. We didn't learn how to play the game, that's for sure.
I learned I can identify characters really quickly in just a couple frames.
I think it was actually kind of interesting as a character study in how not to combine 2 different genres, and especially when you're not even going to try to combine them because you take the worst strengths of both and put them together.
I think it just goes to show how much people like, just like Silent Hill for the monsters and not the more subtle aspects of it, perhaps.
Well, the difficulty with doing something like that, especially in a beat-em-up, is that for a lot of Silent Hill, a lot of it is wandering around and having each monster, especially if you're not any good at the game, be an actual threat. Whereas if you have to do something like that in, say, a Streets of Rage game...
Well, they're incompatible genres, obviously, because Streets of Rage and beat-em-ups are not... They're not subtle genres, it's just punch dude, move on, punch dude, move on. So it's not compatible with a psychological horror game. Duh.
I mean, I suppose you could try doing that in a lot of ways with subtle theming, putting events that you're walking through and things like that. Like, that's one way you could be doing it. But in this kind of way, like, you try to do it by making the enemies threatening. All that's going to do is, well, this enemy can stun lock you into the wall, and here's 4 others that can do the same thing.
Yeah, so, it's not compatible.
I mean, unless the horror is going to be, I have lost $40 out of my wallet to this game, I don't think you can really do arcade coin-op type stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when are we going to play the Resident Evil board game?
Right after I finish beating the Street Fighter platformer. Which is a Street Fighter game with Street Fighter 1 physics that someone looked at and decided, yes, this needs to be a regular game. This needs to be a Mario platformer.
I'm surprised they didn't use the Boogeyman from Downpour. That's weird. Or the Weeping Bat. That's weird, too. It's just a Silent Hill-themed Street Fighter, whatever the fuck, Streets of Rage thing. It's not supposed to be... It's not trying to combine the 2 things. It's just like... This is themed of a thing I like, but it's not anything like the thing I like. The end.